We know that dating can be a real drag, but luckily, Netflix has endless ways for us to explore love.
Calling all reality TV lovers, Netflix just announced their new upcoming lineup of shows. Hey guys, welcome back to another Shared News from Home. We have got to talk about this all new lineup of new and returning reality TV shows that Netflix just announced. But before we get into it, make sure that you subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. I'm your host, Gianna, joined today by the wonderful Zachary Reality and Mariah Davis. And you guys, we just got to dive right in because I'm so excited. Obviously, we have the return of the notorious Love is Blind after all the success it received after the first two seasons. And as if it couldn't get any better, Netflix just revealed that we're not only getting season 3, but we are also getting a fourth and a fifth season as well. Season 3 was actually already shot in Dallas, Texas, but there's no release date for it just yet. But the cast from season 2 will be returning before then for After the Altar, where we'll get to see what the couples are up to now. And a second season of Love is Blind Brazil will also premiere this year. You guys, I feel like Love is Blind took social media and all reality TV fans by storm. I'm obsessed with the show. I've been watching it since day one, episode 1, season 1, and I just can't wait for it to continue. I mean, Zach, how are you feeling about seasons 3, 4, and 5? I mean, why do you think this show is so successful?
I'm so here for it. Give me all of the seasons. Love is Blind is such a good show. It's so captivating. The love stories, the drama. I mean, season 2 really got a lot of us excited about it again since it was a minute since season 1 first came on Netflix. But Gianna, to be honest, before we get season 3, like I need the After the Altar episodes because there's still so many unanswered questions. Are Kyle and Deep D still together? What's going on with Shayna? She just got engaged. We know they're filming After the Altar or they already filmed it. Like, when are they going to air that? And I need that to be aired before Love is Blind season 3. Otherwise, I'm not going to be, emotionally ready to invest in new couples until I get like my closure from season 2.
If Netflix is going to keep the same pattern going as they did for season 1, we know After the Altar from season 1 premiered way before season 2. I believe that premiered this past summer, and then we just got season 2 a few months ago. So if they're going to keep that timeline going, that's probably smart because I agree, I can't emotionally invest in these other couples when I need closure from the past couples. But Mariah, speaking of After the Altar, do you have any predictions for the couples or what we might be seeing on those episodes?
I'm rooting for D Kyle for sure. I love that I didn't know that they had a connection when they were in the pods. Like at least if they showed any of that, I don't remember any of it. Am I crazy? Did they show that? I don't know. But I do love them together. I think it kind of makes sense. It's anything would be better than her last pair up. So I'm rooting for them. I hope that they make something work out of it. I'm not rooting against anybody, but I never thought Danielle and Nick would have a super, super long relationship. Of course, I hope that, devastation doesn't come into their relationship and break them up, but I'm feeling like I just don't see it for them. I don't know. I think they have some major communication to work on, and maybe they have worked on it. I mean, I don't know what their life is like these days, but I'm kind of thinking like maybe this is a hot take, but I don't know that they are going to be in it for the long haul. I think maybe they had a great start and maybe they've had a really great story so far, but I don't know if they are forever and ever for each other. I don't know if they're each other's soulmates. So that's kind of what I'm predicting right now, but I'm totally with you. I don't know if I can emotionally invest in new couples before I know what's happened with our season 2 couples.
Yeah, in terms of Nick and Danielle, I know that they are definitely still together. I mean, Zachary Reality ran into them the other day, so clearly they were still together. They were going strong. And in terms of After the Altar, my prediction is I think Nick and Danielle are actually going to be hosting the party because if we remember, I believe season 1, there was one couple that actually had to host the party themselves. And if that's the case, we know that everyone's going to be dressed up in those hot dog costumes and those other crazy costumes like Danielle had. And they've been posting TikToks and they have been in those costumes since then. So I can't wait to see that hopefully on after the altar. But we have to move on because next up we are getting The Ultimatum, which is from the same creators of Love is Blind. We have been hearing about the show for the last month or so, so we know it's going to be good since it's the same creators as Love is Blind. The show is premiering very soon on April 6th, actually, where couples will decide to get married or break up, and they all get to date each other in the meantime. And you guys, this makes me so happy. Netflix said that there will be an all queer season of the show also very, very soon, which I feel like we need that with some reality show. None of them are doing that. So I am just snapping my fingers, standing ovation. I am so excited. But for the April 6th premiere of The Ultimatum, I mean, Zach, this show sounds so messy. I mean, how do we even think it's going to work out?
It does sound really messy, a little too messy since they're talking about engaged couples who might date around. It's just like when you get engaged, it's usually because you plan on getting married. So it's like, how all in are these couples? But I guess that means it's going to be double the mess. So I'm excited for The Ultimatum. Netflix reality TV is just everything these days. I've heard there's some other shows coming as we're going to get into more. And I mean, I'm just invested, and it's just kind of nice and refreshing, I guess, to be, a part of or a big fan of, Netflix reality TV Nation, because it's so different than Bachelor Nation and it's different than Bravo. It's just like this new era, this new genre. It almost feels like the Gen Z reality TV. Just like a new like type of TV that we've never seen before, as someone who's been watching reality TV for, a couple decades now. So I'm so excited for The Ultimatum, and I'm definitely excited about the queer season. Finally, like I think that will give us a lot of good TV that people are really gonna look forward to.
Absolutely. And I know everyone's been rooting for, a queer bachelor, bachelorette season, but the only hard part is what if they all start dating each other because they're queer? That's been the only hiccup in that idea for the bachelor, bachelorette. But I think it's so beautiful that shows like this get to give those people a different show to go on. That's not the bachelor or bachelorette, because these shows are just as good. Now, Mariah, The Ultimatum, I mean, if you were engaged and you and your partner decided to go on the show, I mean, would you really go around and date other people? The idea, I just cannot wrap my head around it.
That's the thing. Is like I'm not gonna be a huge fan of this show because I feel like shady of anybody. Like I'm like affected by this as if I was engaged and my man wanted to go on this show. Like, why would you want to go on a show where you could potentially date other people? Okay, if you have any thought in your mind that there is someone else out there for you, do not get down on your knee and put a ring on my finger, honey, because I will not say yes to you. Like, why would you be in that position to begin with? I completely agree with what Zach said. And it's gonna be, there's no other word to describe it but messy and like chaos. Because these couples, there's gonna be so much drama. And yeah, I get the appeal there because some people just love drama. It just fuels them for the day. But for me, like I'm gonna get stressed out to see, I don't want to see couples break up and someone start to, I mean, don't we call that cheating? Emotional and physical cheating if you entertain other people while you're in another relationship, let alone engaged. I feel like MTV used to put out shows like this and they were just chaos. So I'm a little nervous about this. The only thing that I feel comfortable about is like Netflix does reality TV so well, and I feel like they do a really good job to make it wholesome and endearing rather than just nasty and drama filled and just like I don't know, chaos or chaotic. But I'm looking forward to seeing how things play out and how they spin this show. But I myself don't know if I can handle that much drama. Like I don't know if I'll be able to tune into that. Now, a queer version of Love is Blind. Oh my gosh, yeah. Like let's have that representation. I think it's been a really slow moving process. I don't really know why it's been so slow moving. Why haven't we had that representation yet? But I'm thrilled. I think it's going to be so lovely to watch, and I'm looking forward to seeing that. As I'm definitely looking forward to seeing that more than I am this like ultimatum show. The idea just stresses me out.
Fair.
The idea stresses me out as well, but we know that Nick and Vanessa Lachey will be returning as hosts for The Ultimatum as well. So hopefully they can take the reins on this show and try to ease the drama a little bit, because we don't want it to get too crazy. But We always love a little drama here on Shared News. And speaking of drama, we have got to talk about the return of Too Hot to Handle. Season 3 just premiered in January, but Netflix already revealed that they have the next cast lined up already. And if you guys don't watch, it's a group of people that think that they signed up to chill in a tropical location, but actually end up on a sex-free resort where they have to follow rules from this artificial intelligence lady. And there is no set date for season 4 just yet. But I know, Zachary Reality, you are excited to watch this show. I've truthfully never seen a season all the way through just yet, but I think I'm going to have to start watching season 4. I mean, what do you think?
I mean, Too Hot to Handle is messy. It's kind of the original messy show on Netflix. Francesca and Harry really set the tone when they started on season 1 and caused all of this chaos by hooking up and not telling the rest of their housemates and then getting in trouble and exposed by Lana and losing all of their money. It makes things more interesting when there's money on the line, and I think that's what makes, Too Hot to Handle stand out from the other Netflix shows. So I am excited about it. I know The Circle is also planning on coming back soon. So it's just like Selling Sunset as well. It's just like Netflix is just they never stop. They're always on point. There's so many shows. I do think it's important that they space them out though, so that there's always something for us to watch, because right now there's nothing on Netflix to watch, but they have like 2, 3 shows coming out later this year. I mean, I'm ready for the next one.
I agree. I'm so ready, especially since we're in the Bachelorette lull right now, kind of waiting for that season to get started. I mean, how are we going to juggle another Love is Blind, another reality show, Bachelorette? It's just, I'm getting overwhelmed already. But in terms of Too Hot to Handle, I mean, Mariah, the crazy thing to me is like, how have these people not learned by now the process of the casting of this show? I mean, you're getting told you're going to go on this tropical resort and everything's all hunky dory, and then you end up on Too Hot to Handle and it's this big reveal surprise. I mean, do you think that the cast knows that they're on Too Hot to Handle and at this point they're just kind of acting, or do you think it's a genuine response?
I feel at this point, I mean, going into season 4, how would you not know that that was what was happening? Like, how would you not have any idea if you're going through a casting process with Netflix and they're promising this like fun-filled resort getaway with like romance involved? It's like, come on, surely you know at this point that they're conning you, because that is like the premise of the show. You think you're going on something, and then you show up and night one, they're like, BT dub, this is too hot to handle. I think I thought about that watching season 3. Everyone's reaction, I'm like, fake, you knew. Like, there's no way you didn't know. So at this point, surely, I mean, come on. If just a PSA for anybody watching who would love to go on Too Hot to Handle, if you go through a casting audition with Netflix and they're promising a show, please know that you are going on Too Hot to Handle, okay? Netflix is not MTV. They are not actually going to start a show where there's just like single people going on an island to mess around with each other, okay? At the end of the day, this is Netflix and they keep it classy. So I don't think that's ever going to happen. No, you are being casted for Too Hot to Handle.
Absolutely. And I do recall that a former cast member of Too Hot to Handle actually spilled the tea about it and said that he fully knew that he was going on Too Hot to Handle. I mean, Zach, you know more about this than I do. Did that actually happen?
I haven't heard that, but I wouldn't be surprised. I think it's a lot harder these days to convince people that they're not going there when the format is already well known. They've had, successful seasons of the show. So, I mean, listen, I think a lot of these reality stars are just happy to get on TV, so they're willing to roll with the punches.
Again, maybe I'm making that up, but who knows? I feel like they all know that they're on Too Hot to Handle, and that big reveal is just all an act from all of them. But anyway, moving on once again, we now have an Americanized version of an Australian show called Love on the Spectrum. This is a documentary style show about people on the autism spectrum and their love lives. Now, the show in Australia already ran for 2 seasons, and the American version will premiere this year. Now, you guys, I have to ask, reality TV is a little bit of a gray area, right? There are some ethics involved. We know producers aren't always that great. So when it comes to making a show about people with disabilities, I mean, how do we feel about that? Mariah, where do you kind of stand on that?
That's tough. I think on one hand, it can be looked at as just creating that or having that representation. Everybody deserves to find love, and everyone has a certain process to experience it, or certain things they go through to experience it. And I think that should be represented on all fronts by all people. But on the other hand, it can be seen as like, it's no secret that there are people in this world who just suck, to put it plainly, who are just not nice people, not kind. And I don't want to put on a platform to be judged or made fun of. I don't misunderstood. So not everyone is going to look at everything with kind eyes. I think I haven't watched this show, nor am I familiar with anything that's going on. Like I love that it's clearly had a lot of success in Australia if it's going to be Americanized. And I hope that they do it in a really well way that just highlights how these group of individuals find love in the journey to that. So I think it can be good, and then maybe it could be a little messy. Obviously, I'm optimistic. I think again, representation matters. Let's give these people, just as much of a platform to find love and also clout and fame. I mean, that's another huge highlight that comes from these shows.
Absolutely. I agree with literally everything you just said. I mean, Zach, you must agree as well.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I'd be worried about is that producers would be manipulative, and I don't know if that would be fair, necessarily, especially, if people do have disabilities. So you have to be more careful with that. So I think it would just have to be a little bit of a different type of show and maybe make it more educational and less messy and dramatic.
Yeah, I'm thinking about, the show Little People Big World, right? It was showing people that have a certain disability, how they live and go about their lives. And then that show absolutely took off and got everybody on that show famous as well. And I feel like there's a line that producers know that they shouldn't cross, especially when it comes to a show such as Love on the Spectrum. And I think, if the right people are hired, if Netflix really takes the right precautions, then this could be good. And obviously, the people going on the show have to know what they're in for, right? They must have somebody, a guardian with them as well that knows what they're going in for. They must have people watching out for their health on set. There has to be certain precautions that go down while the show's being filmed. So I think if all of that's being followed, then that's fine with me. I think everything will be fine. And I'm excited to see some of that representation here on the American version of the show. So I'll definitely be watching that. But the fun doesn't stop there. We got another new show that will be called Dated and Related, which the name itself, you guys, raises some concerns to me right off the bat, but it is not what it sounds like, thankfully. The show will actually follow pairs of siblings that are trying to help each other find love. But the kicker is the sibling may or may not sabotage the other sibling's connections. And that show will also premiere this year. I mean, you guys, it's reminding me of our twins that are going to be on Gabby and Rachel's season of The Bachelorette. That is exactly what this show is sounding like. So, I mean, again, how is this really going to work? Mariah, how do you think the structure of the show is going to be?
I don't love this because it's like, why are we pinning siblings against each other? I don't know how, to me, that's not entertaining television. That's like you had like a quota of possible reality TV ideas that you needed to pitch, and that's what you came up with. So I don't love that. I would rather see, because also going back to other twins we've seen in the Bachelor franchise, um, it was really endearing to see how they supported each other, and like they were very honest about how if the other was experiencing more of a deeper connection, how that affected them, and that was wholesome to experience with them and watch kind of play out, but they never were pinned against each other. And I don't want to see that for family. Listen, blood is thicker than water. I don't want to see anybody come in between a family relationship. I'm not the biggest fan of the show. I think that's going to be messy. Listen, I said already, Netflix does reality TV very well. Their producers, I feel like, have a different angle than what we see from the Bachelor franchise, and I think that's great. Definitely than what we see from MTV. Even know what shows MTV puts on. Is MTV still a thing? I don't know. But I still worry about some of these concepts. Like they seem a little messy and a little tragic to me, to be honest.
I mean,
Yeah.
I agree. I'm a big family gal. I have siblings. Granted, they're only toddlers at this point, but I could never imagine letting a significant other or someone I'm dating come between us and start all this drama. But I know, Zach, you love the drama. So are you here for the show?
No, I don't know. I think it just gets too messy with family. I think a lot of people will find it relatable. Because there has been, I'm sure people in real life, whose family gets involved in their relationships. And what if, two brothers or two sisters, fall in love with the same guy or girl? That's just gonna get messy. I think it's a new element. I don't think we see it a lot on dating shows, but I kind of like sticking to like dating shows where like no one knows each other because I think that's more fun when you go in with like a blind eye and you're just like curious and you're naive. So bringing relationships with siblings, it seems a little too messy and might hit a little too close to home for me.
Yeah, this is the show that I'm least excited for out of the entire list, but hopefully they prove us wrong and maybe it won't be as bad as we're thinking. But another show, we got to keep chugging along. We have Indian matchmaking, which is self explanatory, and the show already has one season, which I truly had no idea about. I hadn't heard of this show before I read this article. But matchmaker Seema Taparia sets up dates for her clients to help them fall in love with their perfect match. Netflix said at least two more seasons will be on the way very soon. I mean, has anyone watched the show? I've never seen it before. Is it any
Mm.
good? Do we know?
No, but I love
I
a
have
show
never
about a
seen it.
matchmaker.
Yeah, I mean, the matchmaker idea sounds really good. And I mean, hey, our girl Deepti could go on this to find love. Or if Shake breaks up with his girlfriend, I mean, that was a big theme in their relationship the whole time was the Indian culture. So, Zach, would you rather see Deepti go on the show or a single Shake go on the show?
I want to see a single shake, hot take, just because I'm really shipping Kyle with Deep D. We know they've been hanging out a lot. We're probably going to get a confirmation by after the altar. I think Shake needs to be reformed, put in his place, and, put him on the show and see what happens.
But I don't think it would ever work out because remember, Shake was like, I only date white girls. I've never dated an Indian woman. She's reminding me of my auntie. So that could be
True.
entertaining to see him go on the show, to see him just dig himself in his grave even more. And then maybe he'll really get canceled. But Mariah, I mean, who would you rather see on this show? What do you think of it?
Guys, I'm gonna be honest. As much as I hate to root against couples, I would rather see Deepti and Kyle not work out than see Shake on another TV screen ever again in my life.
Mhm.
I think that he had monstrous behavior, and I don't want anyone to ever get hurt by him again. I also don't want to give him any more of a platform. Like, if he had a platform that was given to him because of Love is Blind, I want to take it right the heck away from him. So I would rather see Deepti like go through a heartbreak with Kyle and finally like get to go on a show and find love and whatever than see Shake go on in front of a camera ever again.
Oof. I mean, I agree with both of you. I think what we're all trying to say, all in all, is we are not team Shake around here. So maybe
No.
he won't go on that show, hopefully. But we also have another similar show to Indian matchmaking, which is Jewish matchmaking, which is obviously from the same creator as Indian matchmaking. And these contestants will come from both the US and Israel. There will be a Jewish matchmaker to help them find love. And it is the same exact concept as Indian matchmaking. So I'm just going to ask you guys, Zach, you like it or not? You going to watch it? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm Jewish. I've been to Israel 3 times. I've lived there for 3 different summers. So this sounds really exciting, and I hope they film it in Israel because it's such a beautiful country.
Zach, I didn't know that. I will definitely watch for you. Mariah, what about you?
I love dating shows. So like when I finish one, I'm quickly moving on to the other. So I'm here for all of the dating shows. I love to see the drama, and I also love like the fact that there is going to be this representation. There's going to be this insight to different cultures, which I also love to learn about. So I'm pumped. I think it's going to be really great to watch unfold.
This list of new shows really is probably the most diverse list of shows that we've ever seen. We got Jewish matchmaking,
Very.
Indian, people on the spectrum, a queer show. We have like mostly all the groups
Everything.
of people ever on this list. So I just can't be happier about this. Last but not least, we do have to move on to this mysterious show. Netflix didn't even reveal the name of the last new show on the list. But they did tell us that singles from other shows like Love is Blind, The Circle, Selling Tampa, and Too Hot to Handle will all be on the show and have another chance at finding love all together. I mean, Zach, I feel like I remember you mentioning this show a
Mm.
while ago. I mean, spill the tea. What do you know about it?
Gianna, I've known about this show for a couple months, and I've had to keep my mouth shut because I have some friends who are at Netflix. But there was a cast list revealed on Instagram. It was on one of the MTV Challenge, pages, and some of the cast actually included Shane from Love Is Blind, Chloe from Too Hot to Handle, Mitchell from The Circle, Savannah from The Circle, Calvin from The Circle, Chase from Too Hot to Handle. There's going to be a lot of fun and crazy names. I heard that there is the biggest personalities and lots of drama. I don't know when we'll find out about it, but I think soon because the fan pages are starting to pick up on things. So I am very excited about this. It's going to be epic.
I'm pumped. It's like all of our favorite reality shows crossing over into one. So I mean, I can't even say much more about it because I'm just so excited. But Mariah, they didn't tell us the name. So if you had to name this show, what would you name it?
Ooh, good
Overload. Netflix reality overload. Because I'm like, I'm already overwhelmed with all of these different people. Like, they're all in different categories. And now we're going to combine them. And I'm kind of stressed out about it. It reminds me, I don't know if you guys ever watched this, but back in the Disney days for Mariah, young Mariah, Disney had like these Olympic style games where their Disney cast would all come together and join teams. I don't even remember what it was called, but I was obsessed. And it reminds me of that because it's like all these people from different shows coming together. Now they're in the same pool and it's very interesting. So I'm going to say like just Netflix reality overload. That's the best I can come up with.
I agree. I mean, Netflix reality is doing the damn thing. It's like I was calling Love is Blind Nation, but I feel like it's Netflix Nation. There's so many reality TV personalities, and now they're all going to come together. So it is Netflix Nation for all these new reality shows.
Yeah.
That's all the shows that they announced. But I guess before we wrap this up, I have one last question for the both of you. I mean, which show out of all of these would you go on? Zach, I'll start with you, and Mariah, you can answer after.
I am excited for the queer season. I feel like it's long overdue. I can't wait to see like what kind of personalities they bring. You know, it's going to be an epic show. So I would go on that show. I feel like that is the only show I would go on to like find love since it fits my realm as someone who's gay. So I'm excited about that and I can't wait to watch it. And I'm hoping one of those couples don't work out so I can date one of the guys who come off that show.
I'm rooting for that. I'm manifesting that for you, babe.
For real.
I could not go on a dating show. I just don't think I would thrive on one. I would host one. So if that's allowed, then sign me up to host literally any one of them. Out of the other options that we're just talking about, selling Tampa, I mean, if I'm going to go on a show of any sort, at least let me make a check. My mom was in real estate, so I have a little bit of real estate knowledge. Maybe I'll sell multi-million mansions for a living and bring home a new bag.
I love this for both of you. So I'm going to manifest that for the both of you. I feel like I definitely picked Too Hot to Handle because I don't think I'd have a problem staying away from anybody. I mean, I have had my moments of not being with anybody for months at a time, and I survived and I was okay and I could handle it. So I could handle Too Hot to Handle, and I'm trying to win that prize at the end. But for now, that is all that we have for you guys. Let us know down in the comments what your favorite show is going to be, what you're most looking forward to, any predictions that you may have. And again, make sure that you subscribe to our channel and ring the bell because we will be giving you all the updates on these shows as they come. If you want to give us all a follow on social media, our social handles are on the screen right now. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.